All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today we're going to continue our practice with color pencils, and we are going to be mixing color pencils today. So for today's lesson, you're going to need your ruler, your art book, something to write with, a sharpener, and then you're going to need these colors specifically. So we're going to need our primary colors, so red, blue, and yellow. We're also going to need our secondary colors, so green, orange, and then purple or violet. We're going to need our tint, white, our shade, black. And then we're going to do brown, and then any color that you want, and I'm choosing for this, for me, this kind of like fleshy tone color. So once you have all your colors and all your materials, we're going to open up our art book to the classwork section, and we're going to flip to the work that we did last class. If you did not finish this lesson, then go back to the previous day and go ahead and complete this lesson before we move forward. We're going to continue on this next piece of paper. Now, in the other lesson, I forgot to mention that these pieces of paper that I handed out to you guys before you left are nice drawing pieces of paper. When we use drawing pencils, color pencils, or any kind of pencil really, when we use drawing paper, it responds very differently, and it kind of receives these materials a lot better than like a standard computer piece of paper or regular binder piece of paper would. So today, again, we're going to be creating a grid so that we can kind of practice mixing colors together. To achieve a high quality piece of art made from color pencils, we have to be able to understand mixing colors and what multiple colors look like all together. And so, again, today we're going to go ahead and practice that. So the first thing we're going to need to do is we need to take our ruler, and what I'm going to have you do is on the outer edge, the left-hand side, you're going to take this on the centimeter side, so the smaller increments. We're going to take this number 1. Centimeter, see where it says centimeter. We're going to take where it says this number 1, and we're going to put it up on our paper. And again, we're going to let the ruler kind of rest up against our rings, and we are going to go ahead and we're going to line up this number 1 perfectly with the top of our page. Okay? And from here, I want you guys to start at the number 3 just to give us some space at the top. So right at this number 3, you're going to start, and you're going to make a mark. I need you to make 11 marks all the way down. So this marks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay? So we need 11 spaces because we're trying to make a 10 by 10 grid. And so that first mark, that indicates a box. So 1 all the way down to 10. So next we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our ruler, and we are going to go ahead and line that 1 up again, right there. So that first mark that we made. And we're going to try our best to kind of get the ruler parallel with our paper. So you're going to have to eyeball this, but again, just try to make sure that there's enough space at the top from left to the right all the way through. And same thing, we're going to start here at 1, and we're going to keep marking, and we're going to go all the way to 11. So we're going to count, so we already have a mark here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So again, you should have 11 marks here. So if we count 1 to the end, that's 11. And if we count from here down, that's also 11. And then lastly, we're going to go ahead and take that same thing at the bottom. We're going to take that 1. We're going to line it up as perfectly as we can to the mark that we've already made. And then again, we're going to go ahead and try to make sure that this bottom part is as perfectly lined up with your paper as possible. And so again, you need 11 marks. That marks the one that's already there. So mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Perfect. So now, as you can imagine, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our ruler and we're going to align the marks that we made, kind of aligning the top to the bottom mark. So the best way that I found, what you can do is you can put your pencil or your pen at the top mark, take your ruler, lean it up against the pen because it's already there, and then just adjust the bottom to that bottom mark. So there, do one line. Same thing, put my pen up here, align it to that bottom mark, make my line, and so on. So now that I have all my lines done, the last thing that I need to do is I need to make the lines going across. And so what I'm going to do is I do need these marks over here on this side as well. So what I can do, again, I'm going to take my ruler, and with that number 1 mark at the top, I'm going to line it up to this very top point with that number 1 the best that I can. And same thing doing on the other side. I'm going to go ahead and for every mark, I'm going to go ahead and put a point. You're going to do this all the way down the ruler. And again, you should have 11 points in total, including the very first one. So now that we have all our points on this side, again, just like we did with the vertical lines, we're going to go ahead and make our grid. So here, same thing. I would put my pen where that mark is, and then take my ruler and kind of just hit that pen and then line up with the other mark on the other side, and then make my line. Alright guys, so now that we have our grid, we're going to label our grid. So remember, today's activity, the goal is to kind of mix these colors and see what our outcome is with a variety of all of these colors. Now, this would be a good activity if you were creating a work of art that required a specific palette. You can take all the colors that you want to use and incorporate in your art, and then you can create a grid just so you have a predetermined idea of what the color is going to look like when you mix them together. So the next step to our grid here, what we're going to do is we're going to label the grid. Okay? So we're going to start and we're going to label each column the name of the color that we've selected, and then we're going to name the same colors on this side. So what we're going to do, again, is we're going to go ahead and take this. Okay, so at the top, we're going to go ahead and label our grid. And we're going to label it the colors that we have available. Okay? So, at the top, we're going to say red. Okay, we also have blue, yellow, green, orange, violet, or purple, brown, black, white. And then the random color that we picked, which mine is going to be, I'm going to call it skin. I don't know the exact name for this particular hue. And then on the same side, we're going to go ahead and we're going to write the same colors in the same order. So red, blue, yellow, green, orange, violet, brown, black, and skin. Perfect. So once you have everything all labeled, we are ready to color. So what we're going to do is in the grid, when the colors intersect, you will color each box with those two colors. So the first box, the first grid, the first crossing interacting is red and red. So of course, you're going to color this box red. And since it's just red, that's all we need to color it. Okay? So the next one is going to be red and blue. So when we're coloring with two colors, when we talk about value, we want to make sure that we have kind of like a medium value, so a medium pressure. So what I mean by that is we just did our work on value scale. So we want to have like in between these two. So probably like this one, right? And the reason for that is we want to be able to have both colors shine through. So since this is red and this is blue, we're going to go ahead and take blue. We're going to drag blue over the top. So here in your coloring methods, circular or linear, either one works, but you just want to make sure that you have an even amount all the way across. It also helps if you keep your color pencils sharp for the entire project, just to make sure you have optimal control. And so as you go on, again, in the grid, as each color intersects with one another, you're going to go ahead and make sure that you color that box with the two colors that it says to color. So I'm going to go ahead and finish my grid off camera, and then I'll show you guys here in just a sec what my outcome looks like. Alright guys, and there is my grid all nice and done. So remember, the purpose of this is we need to start kind of understanding and getting used to mixing colors together and how they respond differently and how each square might, more or less of each color will look very, 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 very different. And so as we continue with our practice in our next coming up project, we'll have this knowledge of mixing colors and the different pressures and what we can use to achieve a beautiful final product. So thanks again. I hope everybody has a good day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.